Education Ministry released the 2024 Certificate of Primary Exams results. Paramilitary declare rival government in Sudan. Those stories and more are coming to you in details. South Sudan's National Examination Council under the Ministry of General Education released the 2024 Certificate of Primary Examinations results on Tuesday, nearly 5 months after the exams were administered from November 18th to 22 last year. The delay in releasing the results caused candidates to miss enrollment for secondary schools. The National Examination Council cited a lack of funding as the reasons for the hold-up. Speaking at the announcement in Juba, Kuyok Bol Kuyok, the National Minister of General Education and Instruction, said the exams were conducted in 1,665 schools nationwide, clustered into 551 examination centers. He said 73,326 candidates, 40,427 males and 32,899 females passed the exams, representing an overall pass rate of 94.9%. About 3,878 candidates failed, scoring below 249. Science and Christian religions education were the top performing subjects at 79.9%, while mathematics and Islamic religious education were the worst performing at 61% and 51% respectively. JCC Model Primary School was named the best performing school, followed by Venus Star Academic, both in Central Equatorial State. Felix Luala Wane Jobe, a male student from JCC Model Primary School, emerged as the top performer nationwide with 453 marks. Moses Jerry Achire Ochaya, also from JCC Model Primary School, scored 453 marks. Gift Chandia Remis Olowe, a female student from JCC Model Primary School, was the highest scoring girl with 451 marks, followed by Sabrine KG Paulino Francis, also from JCC Model Primary School, with 451 marks. Minister Kuyok advised parents to obtain official results from the schools where students took the exams. Armed clashes and aerial bombardments have killed more than 180 people, injured over 250 others, and displaced an estimated 125,000 in South Sudan since March this year, the United Nations said in its report. In a statement yesterday, the UN said the violence had killed 4 humanitarian workers and forced 6 health facilities to shut down due to looting and destruction. The United Nations expressed deep concern over the rapidly escalating violence and reiterated its call for the protection of civilians and immediate unimpeded access to life-saving humanitarian aid. It quoted Anita Akiki Gebeho saying, the humanitarian coordinator for South Sudan, that who recently visited Malakal, the capital of Upper Nile State. She said she heard first-hand accounts of violence impact on civilians. While in Malakal, Gebeho met with conflict-affected communities, the governor of Upper Nile State, UN agencies, non-governmental organizations and civil society representatives to assess the humanitarian situation and coordinate the response. She also visited a cholera treatment center. Gebeho warned that the surge in violence must stop, coming at a time when humanitarian funding is dwindling and urgent needs are rising not only in Upper Nile but across South Sudan. A lawmaker and politician from the Shulu community in Upper Nile State has raised concerns over ongoing fighting in Panyikang County and nearby villages close to Malakal, the capital of the Upper Nile State. Panyikang County borders Malakal County to the northeast, Baliet County to the east, Panyikang County to the west, Jonglei State's Fangak and Pigi counties to the south, and Sudan to the north. Rebecca Joshua Koshi, a national lawmaker representing Panyikang County in the Transitional National Legislative Assembly, on Tuesday said that a white army militia group from Jonglei State and where civilian force had attacked Panyikang, with clashes reaching villages near Malakal County. She said fighting broke out on Sunday in the villages of Nyilwak, Pakwa and Obai, north of Panyikang County. By Monday, she said the attackers were nearing Owachi village, just a few kilometers from Malakal town. Rebecca, a former national minister who held multiple government positions in Juba, also accused forces from the SPLA-IO, led by detained First Vice President Riek Machar, of involvement in the attacks. You're listening to Favour English News. Farmers in the border town of Pochalla in the Greater Biboy administrative area have appealed for support to boost production amid a shortage of seeds and farming impediments. Speaking on Tuesday, several farmers said they expected a better harvest this season but warned that challenges could hinder their progress. Julo Ojo emphasized the need for farm tools. Ojo, who is also a Presbyterian priest, stated that with proper support, the community could help feed the country. Pochalla Nyugau called for the introduction of modern farming technology. Pochalla South County Commissioner Otto Okoti confirmed that farmers had raised these concerns with him but said the county lacked the resources to intervene. He echoed calls for support in providing farm tools and equipment. In regional news, Sudan's paramilitary rapid support forces have declared the formation of a rival government to the country's armed forces 2 years into a war that has become the world's largest humanitarian crisis. The leader of the Rapid Support Forces, Muhammad Hamdan Dagalo, said the group was building the only realistic future for Sudan. The announcement came as London hosted a high-level conference to mark the second anniversary of the conflict, where the UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy called for a pathway to peace. Fighting raged on, with the army saying it had bombed RSF positions outside the city of Al-Fashir, forcing hundreds of thousands to flee the Zamzam refugee camp. Himeti said the RSF was building a state of law and not a state ruled by individuals. 2 years into the war, both the army and the RSF have been accused of war crimes, including genocide and mass sexual violence. Himeti has been locked in a power struggle with Sudan's Army Chief General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan since 15th April 2023, creating a humanitarian crisis that has claimed more than 150,000 lives and displaced more than 12 million. Lastly, in the world news, the Chinese businessman who owns mosquito repellent kits described President Donald Trump as a crazy man because of the imposed tariff which has put his company, which were once the best sellers, to a standstill and will remain the same unless President Donald Trump lifts his 145% tariffs on the Chinese goods bound for the U.S. Now, those products are sitting in boxes in warehouses in China. Around half of all products made by his company, Sorbo Technology, are sold to the U.S. It is a small company by Chinese standards and has around 400 workers in Xinjiang province, but they are not alone in feeling the pain of this economic war. Nearby, Ame is helping to sell ice cream makers at her booth for the Guangdong Sailing Trade Company. Her key buyers, including Walmart, are also in the U.S. It was the same story at nearly every booth in the sprawling Canton Fair in the trading hub of Guangzhou. Mr. Chu said he is getting ready to take some Australian buyers to launch They have come looking for a bargain and hope to drive down the price. Last week, President Donald Trump temporarily paused the vast majority of tariffs after global stock markets stumbled and sell off in the U.S. bond market. To end the news, here is the recap of the headlines. National Education Ministry released the 2024 Certificate of Primary Exams results. United Nations says violence in South Sudan killed 180 since March. And paramilitary rapid support forces declare rival government in Sudan. Leaving you with our Bible verse, it is taken from Hosea chapter 6 verse 3, and it says, "Let us acknowledge the Lord, let us press on to acknowledge him. As surely as the sun rises, he will appear. He will come to us like the winter rains, like the spring rains that water the earth." The end of the news. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned.
That was the news
on Favour FM 96.3, the heartbeat of God.